Good evening, everyone. This is John Screaming Eamon here with Lariyah Perrin from DieveNoire. Lariyah, how are you
DieveNoire.
doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for taking some time with me this evening.
Oh, my pleasure.
So, can you tell us what the story is behind the name of the band?
It's very unique. Sorry. Yes, no. So technically, the name is broken in two different words put together. Diva is pretty much an abbreviation from DieveNoire. DieveNoire used to be a name of my town when it was still a German town. It is on the Baltic seashore. So after the World War II, when borders were shifted from DieveNoire, it turned into DieveNoire. So I wanted to actually have a part of me in the name, just not my name. But the second part, noir, it is not Pinot Noir, I promise. It is the darkness throughout my upbringing, being in Poland, walking on the beaches at night, and just coming up with all the dark stories I used to write in books and the diaries and everything like that. So now it's pretty much put into the music, and it just made the most sense.
Okay. Talk
I wanted to add
about
one
this.
thing actually that I had to clarify because I don't really know French. So I know that noir can be spelled with E or without E. So I have asked Julian from Benighted, how do I
Okay.
pronounce it correctly? And so he said that he explained to me why it has to have an E. So because it's a female name, I believe, being
Okay.
connected together. So he confirmed that this is the right spelling.
All right. And then talk a little about the unique sound you guys have. How'd you come up with it?
See, I'm a cynic. I don't really think there is much of uniqueness to much at all lately. I think that everything is influenced by something. It all comes from overall inspiration to what you can come up with. So there is a big giant blend of pretty much my influences across my years. And now that I believe that I'm getting older, I'm maturing. So it's no longer just very extreme metal. I went back to the roots of like Johnny Cash, of like the foot stomping music that when you're riding a motorcycle, stopping in the bar,
Yep.
all of a sudden actually you start liking that, which before is like, oh, that's stupid, is not extreme enough. But now it's like, you know what? I don't give a shit about it. I want that sound and I want to combine it with whatever comes to mind. So that's why none of the songs sound alike. And I don't really know how to explain it. It's just whatever happened that ended up on the album.
Well, it is. It is. It does stand out. I will say that much.
Thank you so much.
I've had it on cycle all day long.
Oh, thank you.
And it's literally it's growing on me every listen. So, um,
Awesome.
with the blues and rock, the old west brought into it. How do you bring that to the front and center today? Because today's sound is all over the map, and to stand
Uh,
out today, you got to do something different.
I see. I hate to say that, but I don't really listen to new music at all. Like I'm stuck in this old stuff that I used to listen all these years before, and whenever I hear something new, it just doesn't really capture my interest. So I have a hard time to relate to anything to what's going on. So I've been told by RPR, what do we even belong to? So I will have a very hard time to answer this question for you, and I'll probably need your addition to that. Yes.
Okay. Well, as far as I go, there's a little bit of everything in there, from the blues, the old west to rock and roll, and it's a
I think so
perfect
too.
blend.
I'm glad to hear
Um,
that.
who are your main influences? Like main influence, other than Johnny Cash that you mentioned?
Um, of course, the 80s. I mean, everybody listens to 80s, but uh, I don't even know, honestly. It's something that, hmm, great question. You know what? I'm very much of a ballad person. Like to me, like I used to be obsessed with Old Wasp, like like
Oh yeah.
the self-titled, or Crimson Idol. The reason, for example, we have a sequence of the storytelling that honestly was inspired by the Crimson Idol. Every song was blending to each other. I was so inspired by that idea. But otherwise, it was just more of falling asleep and just right before going to sleep, like getting that riff in your head somehow and just writing it down or just quickly recording it, humming to the phone to remember the next day. And that's really it. So it must be just deep and grounded somewhere in the head throughout all of these years. I mean, my dad pretty much was raising me on ZZ Top, on
Okay.
Scorpions, on all of that stuff. Then I went into extreme metal. Then I loved heavy metal. So I really don't know. It's whatever came together.
So, do you do the majority of the songwriting?
So the way it worked is every single idea of the song was brought by me. I was doing very quick demos or very abbreviated demos as far as what I can play on the guitar. I'm not a shredder by any means, so with chords or just like a few of the I don't know, string guitars doing something to give an idea to the rest of the band. However, once I met our producer, that's when everything has changed. So it is
Okay.
produced from the Swedish Top Floor Studio, who took on this project of making it unique sound instead of just another like a jam on the guitar at the bar. So I'm really happy that this has turned out that way, because the songs from the very simplistic just like I said, foot stomping or clap and stomp, turn into more melodic, more partially metal, partially rock and roll, partially still kept having that blues rock feel. So but yeah, but as far as the songwriting origins, it comes from me and my weird mind.
Okay. What about I don't give a fuck?
Well, I don't give a fuck is the story of my life. I think of
Okay.
yeah, it's the one that when you are fed up with everything, and it shows more of the growth when first you are trying to belong somewhere, especially with your music. And that's when you just give up on all the like hardcore influences, and because, oh, I want to be in that shelf and I hope I'm going to be accepted. Like at this point, it's just like I really don't give a shit. Like I hate what's going on with this world. I hate how fake people are, how they're
Okay.
trying so hard to just either be friends and talking shit. It's just like all of that for the past couple of years is absolutely gone. Like I have zero interest in anybody's opinion. So yeah,
Just do you,
just do you,
right?
really.
Yeah.
And really, if you stick to I don't give a fuck and really believe in it, life is so much easier.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I'm getting there. So working.
You're growing to it.
And what about one of the hardest hitting songs on the album, in my opinion, is Morning Star.
Oh, yes, that's the one that hits definitely me the hardest on my emotional level. I'm not sure if you are aware, but there was an accident 11 years ago that in my previous band called Chaotica we've been involved with. And uh, the song for the regular listener, it is more of a love song, departure of your lover, anything that you would take from that. To me, it's actually the morning star, as for I'm sure majority of people know, it's the devil, the Satan. So
Yep.
it is more of like, here, take me, because I don't want to be here anymore. Like everything just turned black. Everything the darkness that just like completed my existence at that point. Which don't take me wrong, might be seeming like I'm no longer the person I used to be, but deep inside it still is just, once again, I don't give a fuck. But being around death and seeing your mates dying, and then
Yeah.
all the arguments between the bandmates later on. There were two bands in a van and we lost three people. So it's
Oh,
turned into a big chaos, and something that till today, on every anniversary, on April 6th, it just keeps bringing all those memories. So that song actually was written on that day, on April the 6th. And it just reminds you how fragile the life is. And the sorrow sometimes takes over, and you really feel like you just don't even want to be here anymore. And
yeah.
yeah, so this is part of me, like on an emotional level. And then you have the total contrary, which is I don't give a fuck, which you're just going with it no matter what.
So is that one really hard to perform live for you guys?
I always have like a little squeezed throat.
Okay.
We usually try to not perform those very, very I would call it dragging ballads because me
Okay.
even having ADHD, I also get bored easily at the shows. And there's a lot of songs that we do have quite on the lower end as far as more balladic. So try not to not put too many of them out there. Those who will come across them, I've noticed that they really can feel that song a lot. But I think that
Yeah.
a show is more of a performance. I want them to feel that energy, and one day, because I know it's going to happen, but one day when we get to actually have a longer set and people are more aware of us and what we stand for, at least it's going to be a different energy to play that song to the people.
Okay. So, anything coming up tour wise for shows?
Um, yeah, so for now we have three shows coming up in 2 weeks now. Actually, there's one in Chicago on the 16th. There is one in Milwaukee on the 17th, and on the 18th we're playing Rockfest. And after that, our guitarist Lothar is involved with several bands. He's going to be going on yet another tour. He just was in Europe in May. And then there's a lot of trips because usually people during the summertime have a lot of work, so they're taking some vacation time. But during this time, we're going to be focusing on new music as well. So
Okay.
realistically, I would say like a little later in the year, probably like not November, December, and on, we're going to definitely have more of shows, and starting from then, it's going to be more consecutive.
Okay. Any new songs coming out soon?
So we're going to already be performing two or three more songs actually that are not recorded at all, and I'm very excited because we did the test already at a couple live shows already, and they were really very well received because now we are pushing way more energy comparing to the Story of the Gunslinger album. Which I think the reason why it kind of morphs that way from this very like balladic and slow and bluesy into more rock and metal is because you cannot lie to where you come from, and every
Yeah.
single member of the band comes from more extreme end of of metal. So eventually it will probably start showing more and more whether we will like it or not. But we are going to try to keep this part of rock and blues in there, at least to some extent.
Okay. Um, what song, I guess, for you pumps the crowd up the most that you play now? Is it I Don't Give a Fuck, or is there a different one that really gets the crowd going?
Oh man. Because I wrote them all pretty much. I guess every single one of them is heading different way, but I really, really, really love the streets of New Orleans, and especially that every every other year I go to New Orleans, and we go there with Josh, my husband, who is also on the rhythm guitars, and this one year, actually, when this song just got the idea from, is when Josh and I, with our best friend Amber, went to New Orleans completely randomly, finding our later producer. So we were already quite shit faced, and we just were looking at the any last bar for a nightcap, and yeah, so Amber is just opened the door and looking, and then there is this long-haired guy playing a pool, and she loves playing pool. She's so good at it. So we started talking. I was already so tired, so I was just sitting by the bar. She made this contact, and later on, she was like, "Do you know who the guy is?" I'm like, "Nope, no idea. I only know that his name is Jacob. That's what I've gathered. Otherwise, I'm literally about to fall asleep at the bar top." So she goes like, "Oh my god, like he works with bands." I'm like, "Oh, of course he works with bands. Which local bands?" And she's like, "Oh no, like he works with In Flames, with um with Devin Townsend and everything." He's like, "What?" So
Oh, no kidding.
we somehow get in touch online later on, and he was like, "Yeah, if you ever need anything, just let me know." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think that you'll be even interested in what I'm trying to do." And it's like, "Well, you're a metal chick." It's like, "No, no, no. What is going to happen is not going to have much metal in it." And he goes like, "Give me a try." So yeah, he actually took on "These Boots Are Made for Walking" as a test song, and he changed literally everything. And I'm like, "Okay, we can definitely work together because I love this," because he puts himself fully into it, because
Okay.
he's a 100% professional drummer, but he somehow can play every instrument possible. So he just has redone literally most, if not all of that, and he guided me also which parts to change even vocally. So yeah, very lucky find. And the streets of New Orleans, which I was trying to get to, which I digressed, is every single time the experience of in New Orleans is just different. So I don't know how many times you've been there, but if you've been there at least a couple of times, I'm sure that you've noticed that you start seeing more, you start feeling more. And I started to get more into the esoteric part of it as far as the research of it and all the
Okay.
spirituality, etc. So that's why the song is about this, let's call it shaman, like, with like faceless guy with a bone with rattling teeth on it and
Yep.
everything, and how I'm being taken over by that. So it's just more of the experience of New Orleans, and somehow because of how the music goes, probably the melody line, I really love performing that song a lot.
Okay. And these boots are made for walking. That was an interesting choice, but it fits with the "I don't give a fuck" motto, right? It's
Yeah.
that attitude.
Uh-huh.
Um, so is that why you picked that one?
No, I really really wanted to do a tribute to someone that I really loved, and I didn't want to do the another one that is always being done, which would be a Johnny Cash. So I was already considering doing Motorhead, which I absolutely love, but I figured like what would be something that would make sense with the whole theme of the Gunslinger, because the album is pretty much themed with everything. So because it's a story of both a gunslinger and the girl and the whole chase and everything else. So that was fitting somehow, and I couldn't explain why. Uh, I want to leave a lot of the thinking process to those who listen to the songs, to put them together, puzzle them together, but making a cover that is not an identical cover, because everybody that they
Yeah.
cover it, they just sing differently, but they perform the same. I wanted to change entire thing. So, and I think we kind of accomplished that pretty okay, because it's still the most searched for, which makes sense because people search for oldies and somehow they find us, which actually was a benefit that I did not even think about, that, hey, that actually might help us too. So yeah, a lot of artists actually start with just being a cover band. So, and I refuse that dramatically. But I think that to have a tribute to somebody that you really like would be something cool to do. And she actually saw that and she liked it. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you hit it with that song because the guitar tones and everything, it just fits the rest of the album. It's not something that
too.
stands out like a different tone or anything. So that was a perfect fit. So,
Thank you.
um, are there any artists you'd like to collaborate with, dead or alive?
Oh man, most of my influences are dead by now, unfortunately, and the ones that I would love to play with, they don't really have anything to do with our music. But if I could resurrect someone that could somehow fit, it would be definitely the Devil's Blood. But are you familiar with the Devil's Blood?
I am not.
No, okay. So, Watain, for example, took them on tour. Oh God, I don't even know how many years ago. It must have been at least 15, 16 or so. So it is a pretty much a Dutch project. It's Farida and Salim Lamouchi. So Salim took his life. He was behind music writing, but her vocal is very vintage rock. Sort of like you would, who would you fit them with Coven, with Lucifer, this kind
Okay.
of style of music, yeah. So, but her voice is just something. Uh, she goes by Mouth of Satan, which makes a whole lot of the sense why. But so that would be more fitting. I would say something from the vintage rock, because again, like I don't really know much of the new stuff, but I've been told that we would be fitting with acts like what's her name, Dorothy, and Everybody Loves an Outlaw, and like this kind of style, which I still have to research a little bit more. But I've heard some stuff, and I think that they're really good. I just love the little bit of a vintage sound. Just I really really don't care much for like hard rock and the screaming stuff. So I really hope that I'm not going to be put together with this kind of shelf. But you know what? I always appreciate artists for making it, no matter who you are, because I know. Sorry, I know how much effort it takes to go from ground zero to actually be seen on a big
Yeah.
stage. So yeah, even if something does not fit or I'm not aware of just yet, I'm always open to learn more.
Okay. What's your take on AI in the industry
Oh
nowadays?
yeah, fuck AI, no way. The only cool thing about AI that I would say is funny to do is if you're just mocking some memes. And this is probably the only thing I would really want AI to exist. I'm sure it helps with businesses, but then the businesses are losing the actual employees, so people are losing
Yep.
work. As far as
Yep.
and seeing all the posters, like there's no human touch to it. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. There's no drawing, there's nothing. And the worst, and absolute worst of AI is people selling music that is not theirs. It's AI. So
Yep.
over my dead body, I'll ever use AI in my music. I prefer to suck, but have it my way than to have a computer to do it, you know? So it's terrible.
I get it. I get it. So, what's your take on social media in the industry? Like, do you think it makes it easier for you guys or harder?
You know, this is a necessary evil. I still believe that I'm an old soul, and I wish I did not have to use it because it just takes up so much of your time to put together a stupid video. It's like an hour if you want to like put together like a collage of videos or same thing with photos. So I'm a tattoo artist, so to me also like to make a stupid video of me tattooing and then before and after, etc. is just it's just life consumption. So I wish that one day I actually had enough of money. I never want to be rich, but I want to have enough money for somebody else to do it for me so I can just focus on art and on music and not to do that. The only reason why I would like to still have social media would be for my friends and family so they can actually see what's happening, etc.
Yeah.
Because to keep up with everybody is not that easy, especially that my entire family is in Europe. So this is the way to communicate better, I suppose. But yeah, otherwise it's
Easier.
just a chaos. Yeah, and then when you just go on this feed and see all the bullshit that is happening in the world, you're just like, fuck this. It's like I don't want even want to be here. I want to go on a different planet or I don't know, North Montana in the mountains or something. So
Yeah, I get it. So, tattoo artist, do you want to drop the name of your? Is it your business?
yeah, I go under Iron Wings Tattoo.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for almost 8 years now. It's gonna be 8 years actually the end of this month. So yeah, it's the only job that I actually kept for longer than a year that I was not losing interest in. So that's pretty impressive for me.
Yeah. All right. In closing, is there anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Yeah, just don't give a fuck about anything. Just keep doing stuff because every day matters. You never know when it's gonna be your last moment of your life. And if I just really hope that all my friends know by now, especially if they're around me, that you have to live every day as if that was your last day.
Yep.
Because if you snooze, you're going to lose. If you just are gonna be lazy, you're still going to lose on something that you might potentially be creative at. Yeah, if you die once like I already have, I hope that you learn on my story that every day matters and everybody that actually is around you that cares for you matters too. So yeah, speaking of social media, don't waste time on social media. Just reconnect with people that you love and they love you, and that's really what I would say.
All right. Well, Lariyah, has been an absolute delight chatting with you this evening,
Likewise, my dear.
and I do want you to keep thrashing.
Always, thank you so
All right.
much.